Have you ever noticed that your appetite just isn't what it used to be? Maybe you sit down to eat and feel full after just a few bites. Or you tell yourself, I'm older now, I don't need as much food. And you quietly start eating less and less each year. A lot of people over 70 do this without thinking twice. It feels natural. It feels responsible. It even feels healthy. But here's the uncomfortable truth most seniors are never told clearly. Eating too little after 70 can slowly steal your strength, your independence, and even your joy in ways that don't show up right away. That's what we're talking about today. The shocking truth about eating less after 70, and the real risks most seniors ignore because no one ever explained them in plain language. This isn't about overeating or forcing yourself to eat giant meals. It's about understanding what your body actually needs now, not what you assume it needs. Because after 70, your body changes in quiet, sneaky ways. And when food intake drops too low, those changes can turn against you. So let's start gently with something many people experience but rarely connect to food. That constant tired feeling. You wake up in the morning, and even after a decent night's sleep, you don't feel refreshed. Simple tasks feel heavier than they used to. A short walk leaves you more worn out than expected. Many seniors chalk this up to just aging, but very often it's the first risk of eating too little after 70. Slow, steady loss of muscle and strength. Here's the part that surprises people. After 70, your body becomes less efficient at using protein. That means you actually need more protein than you did in your 50s or 60s, not less. But when appetite drops and meals get smaller, protein is usually the first thing to disappear. Maybe breakfast becomes just tea and toast. Lunch is a small bowl of soup. Dinner is a few bites because you're not that hungry. Over time, your muscles don't get the building blocks they need, and they begin to shrink. This isn't about looking muscular. This is about being able to stand up from a chair without pushing off the armrests. It's about carrying groceries, climbing stairs, and catching yourself if you trip. When muscle quietly fades, balance goes with it. Reaction time slow. Falls become more likely. And once a serious fall happens, life can change very fast. What's heartbreaking is that many seniors don't realize their weakness wasn't inevitable. It was fueled by simply not eating enough of the right foods. And here's where it gets even trickier. When you eat less, your body tries to adapt by slowing down. You move less because you feel weaker. You feel weaker because you move less. It becomes a quiet loop that shrinks your world bit by bit. You may stop going out as often, stop visiting friends, stop doing the things that once made you feel alive, all because your body didn't have enough fuel to keep you strong. Now let's talk about another risk that often flies under the radar because it doesn't hurt and it doesn't announce itself loudly. It creeps in slowly, and many people don't connect it to food at all. I'm talking about changes in mood, memory, and mental sharpness. Have you ever felt more irritable than you used to? Or noticed that small things feel overwhelming? Maybe you walk into a room and forget why you're there more often. Again, it's easy to blame age, but your brain is incredibly sensitive to undereating. When you don't consume enough calories, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals, your brain doesn't get what it needs to function smoothly. After 70, the brain needs steady energy. When meals are skipped or too small, blood sugar can dip, even if you've never had diabetes. These dips can lead to foggy thinking, anxiety, low mood, and even feelings of sadness that seem to come out of nowhere. Some seniors describe it as feeling flat or not themselves anymore. Food isn't just fuel for the body, it's fuel for your emotions and your sense of self. There's also the issue of important nutrients like vitamin B12, iron, and omega-3 fats. These are critical for nerve health and memory, but they're often missing when diets become very small or repetitive. Eating less doesn't just mean fewer calories, it often means less variety. The same simple foods day after day may feel easy, but over time they can quietly starve the brain. What makes this especially dangerous is that poor appetite and low mood feed each other. When you feel down or mentally foggy, you're less motivated to cook or eat. When you eat even less, your mood and clarity suffer more. It's a cycle that many seniors fall into without realizing what started it. The good news, and this is important, is that none of this means you failed or done something wrong. These changes happen to smart, capable people every day. Society tells seniors to eat less, shrink portions, and be careful with food, without explaining how aging bodies actually work. Once you understand that, you can start making small, realistic adjustments that support your strength and your mind instead of draining them. As we keep going, it becomes clearer how something as simple as eating too little can ripple out into many parts of life, affecting not just how long you live, but how well you live. And with that understanding in place, it becomes easier to see why paying attention to nourishment after 70 isn't about indulgence. It's about protecting the life you've worked so hard to build and making sure you have the energy and clarity to keep enjoying it one day at a time.
When the body doesn't get enough nourishment, the effects don't stop with strength and mood. They quietly spread into places you don't usually think about until something goes wrong. One of those places is your immune system. After 70, your immune defenses are already a bit slower than they used to be, and that's completely normal. But when you eat too little, especially too little protein and too few vitamins, those defenses weaken even more. Colds linger longer, minor infections turn stubborn, a small cut or scrape takes forever to heal. Many seniors are surprised to learn that the immune system is built and repaired every single day using nutrients from food. When meals are skipped or portions shrink too much, the body has to make hard choices. It starts prioritizing the basics, like keeping the heart and lungs going, and puts immune repair on the back burner. That's why some older adults feel like they're always catching something or never fully bouncing back after being sick. It's not bad luck. Often, it's a sign the body simply doesn't have enough resources to protect itself properly. And this connects closely to another risk that's often misunderstood: slower healing and recovery. Think about how long it takes now to recover from a fall, a minor surgery, or even a long day of physical activity. When food intake is low, the body doesn't have enough raw materials to rebuild tissue. Muscles repair more slowly, skin stays fragile. Even internal healing, the kind you can't see, drags on longer than it should. This is especially important because life doesn't stop after 70. You still move, you still live, you still occasionally overdo it without meaning to. When the body is underfed, every setback feels bigger. A simple illness can knock you off your routine for weeks instead of days. That loss of momentum can be frustrating and discouraging, and it often leads people to move less and eat even less without realizing they're digging the hole deeper. Another area where eating too little causes real trouble is bone health. Most people know calcium matters, but fewer understand that bones don't just need calcium alone. They need protein, vitamin D, magnesium, and enough calories overall to keep rebuilding strong bone tissue. After 70, bone breakdown happens faster than bone rebuilding. When food intake drops too low, rebuilding slows even more. This is why some seniors are shocked when they're told they have thinning bones or osteoporosis despite eating light for years. Eating lightly can feel virtuous, but bones interpret it as scarcity. They respond by becoming more brittle, and brittle bones turn minor falls into major injuries. A hip fracture isn't just a broken bone. For many seniors, it's the event that changes daily life forever. The frightening part is how preventable much of that risk can be with consistent, nourishing meals. Now, let's talk about something people don't love discussing, but everyone notices eventually: digestion and appetite itself. When you eat too little for a long time, your digestive system actually adapts by slowing down. Stomach acid production drops, enzymes decrease, hunger signals become weaker. So the less you eat, the less hungry you feel. This makes it seem like your body doesn't want food anymore, when in reality, it's learned to survive on very little. This is why forcing big meals rarely works and often backfires. It's not about stuffing yourself. It's about gently reminding your body that food is available and safe again. Small, regular meals with real nourishment can slowly wake appetite back up. When that happens, digestion improves, energy improves, and people often say, "I didn't realize how low I'd been feeling until I started feeling better." Right around here, if this is starting to make sense and you're finding yourself thinking, "No one ever explained it to me this way," take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Not because it helps an algorithm, but because it helps you. This channel is about giving clear, honest guidance for staying strong, independent, and confident as you age without fear or fluff. Subscribing means you won't miss simple, practical conversations like this that can genuinely change how you feel day to day. As we keep going, it becomes clear that eating less after 70 isn't a harmless habit. It affects how well your body protects you, how quickly you recover, how strong your bones stay, and even how your appetite behaves over time. None of these changes happen overnight. They creep in quietly, which is why so many people don't connect the dots. What matters most is understanding that your body at this stage of life isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for consistency, regular nourishment, enough fuel to maintain what you've built over a lifetime. When you respond to that need, many of these risks begin to soften. Healing improves, strength stabilizes, confidence slowly returns. And with that foundation in place, it becomes possible to look at the final, often overlooked consequence of eating too little after 70, one that affects not just the body, but the freedom and independence you value so deeply. There's one last risk of eating too little after 70 that doesn't always show up on a blood test or a doctor's chart, but it may be the most powerful of all because it touches your freedom. When the body is underfed for long enough, independence slowly starts to slip away. Not all at once, not dramatically. It happens in small moments that are easy to dismiss. You stop driving at night because you feel tired sooner. You avoid outings because they feel like too much effort. You rely more on others for things you used to do yourself, not because you want to, but because you don't quite have the energy anymore. Food is fuel for independence. When there isn't enough of it, the body becomes cautious. It conserves energy. Movements become smaller, slower, more careful. Over time, this can quietly reshape daily life. Many seniors assume this is just the normal path of aging, but often it's the result of long-term undernourishment, making the body feel unsafe to do more. What's painful is that once independence shrinks, confidence often shrinks with it. You may start doubting your abilities. You may hear that little voice saying, "I'm too old for that now," even when deep down you still want to participate, to move, to engage. Eating too little doesn't just weaken muscles and bones, it weakens trust in your own body. The encouraging truth is that this isn't a one-way street. The body, even after 70, responds surprisingly well to better nourishment. When meals become more regular and more balanced, many people notice something simple but powerful returning: steadiness. Standing up feels easier, walking feels more secure, the fear of falling eases slightly, and when that fear eases, life opens back up just a bit more. It's important to say this clearly and kindly. Eating more after 70 does not mean eating recklessly. It does not mean ignoring medical advice or health conditions. It means shifting the mindset from restriction to support, from how little can I get by on to what does my body need to keep me strong today. That shift alone can change how you approach food and how food shows up for you. Simple changes matter more than dramatic ones. Adding a protein-rich snack between meals, making sure each meal has something nourishing, not just filling, eating even when hunger cues are quiet because you understand that hunger doesn't always speak loudly anymore. These aren't indulgences, they're acts of care. As everything we've talked about comes together, a clear picture forms. Eating too little after 70 can quietly drain muscle, cloud thinking, weaken immunity, slow healing, thin bones, and eventually chip away at independence. None of this happens because you did something wrong. It happens because aging bodies are different bodies, and they need different care. The most hopeful part is that small changes can make a big difference. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. You don't have to count every calorie. You simply need to listen to what your body is asking for now, not what it asked for decades ago. When you meet those needs, energy often returns before you expect it. Confidence follows. Life feels more manageable again. If any of this resonates with you, you're not alone. Many seniors are quietly navigating these same changes, wondering why they feel weaker or more tired without a clear reason. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences, so take a moment to share in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel understood and less alone. And if this conversation has been helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It tells me this content matters to you, and it helps make sure more honest, practical guidance reaches people who truly need it. Growing older doesn't mean shrinking your life. With the right support, it can mean protecting what matters most and continuing to live with strength, dignity, and choice. Here's to nourishing your body, trusting it again, and living your best life at every age.